You are the bell within a bell that tolls to tell life's essence, and without a sound, over any distance, breaks the spell of silence.
Welkom, kom met de zalig blessed. Jeg heter Maxime Gaudio, en jeg kutlet Max. Jeg hjemme I Reykjavik. Okay, Elsa. Elska. It's not coming. I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying. Jeg elsker Iceland. How else can I say it? I love Iceland. Jeg at leide Islandsko. Tad mjør erfet. Mjør erfet. Oxo, you got that? And so, please let me go on in English, and please follow me in English so that I can speak fully and fully from my heart. I want to let you know that this show is about Icelanders, about you, and about your country. But it's seen through my eyes. I know, I'm a Bonni, I'm an Utlandinger, but it's alright, because I have a lot to say, and I've seen a lot. And some of you probably remember me from a book that I wrote that came out just at the time of the Krepa. This is it, as a matter of fact, in case you don't know and you want to. It's called Journey to the Center of the Self, and it's a lot about making a difference in yourself and how you feel about yourself. And what I would like to talk to you about today is the idea of the subconscious mind, the idea that how we think, what we conceive and believe we achieve. And so the eye sees one thing, but the mind is always doing something else, and it's sometimes doing it subconsciously. So what does this mean? It means that, as an example, if you look at a photograph, or particularly if you look at art, a piece of art, a painting, if you look very, very closely, you will see that there are other pictures there. Sometimes you see faces. Sometimes you see an entire scene, and the scene is different. It's all going on, and you don't realize it. But if you focus once in a while, when you see art of that nature, you will see that there are many other things that are going on. And I say that if you think about it, if this is going on when you look at a picture, how much of life are you looking at? How much of your surroundings are you looking at? How much are you looking at the people that you know, the people that you meet, the people in your own family? How much are you looking at them? How much are you looking deeply? How much are you looking at your country? It's a beautiful country with beautiful people. We have a lot of difficulties, but there are also these things. When you look at the light here, do you really look at the light? When you look at the ocean, which we have in some places, do you see the ocean? Do you watch the waves? Do you see these things? This is all going in some way into your subconscious mind. So when you're thinking to yourself, I'm not good enough, I'm not happy with this is going in there, because the subconscious mind has no ability whatsoever to make decisions. It just takes what you tell it as the truth, like a very small child. You tell it that it's black, it believes it's black. You tell it that you're not happy, it's not happy. If you were going out in the rain, which we have enormous amounts of here, for sure, if your mother had told you, or your father, someone had said, if you don't put on some kind of boots, you're going to catch cold. Well, after that, it's in there already. And you think to yourself, nothing. You just go on and do what you're supposed to do. But as you get older, you'll find that when it's raining or it's snowing, if you don't put on your boots, you'll get sick because you've made that program. So I don't want to go on too much with this, but I want to leave you with the concept that you should need to take time and watch your subconscious. Watch what you're saying to yourself. Watch what's going on there. Feel good about yourself. And really, when you look at art, really look at art. When you see a painting, really look at the painting. Look deeply. Look at what the artist is trying to say to you, and then go deeper than that. See what else is in there. See what that artist, he or she, has painted that he or she didn't even know about. It's an interesting concept. And when I found it, I loved it. All right. So I'll stop the preaching now and let's go on. I have a wonderful woman with me here today, and I think you'll enjoy her immensely. I received a piece of her art before I ever met her, and from then on, I just wanted to meet her. And then I wanted to own everything in her studio. Her name is Sossa Bjornsdottir, and I welcome you to my program. It's a delight to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So I want you to be comfortable, and we'll just, I'd like to know who you're most like, your mother or your father.
I think I'm more like my mother. She is something else. She's totally different. She has her own way of doing things.
Not unlike yourself?
Yeah, well, unlike her. She was a minister's wife in a small town in Keflavik.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the odd one out, always. Not at all like a minister's wife should be like.
I
So
can't imagine
hope-
you with the minister's wife as a mother, but okay.
Yeah. So she's a good role model, being the odd one out.
Yes.
Which is, I think that's good.
And your father?
Actually, I never knew my real dad, but I
okay.
was adopted when I was 3. The minister adopted me, and he was a great dad.
So would you say that it would be a situation where, as a child growing up, you may not have thought about it, but your father became the unavailable parent? Emotionally, he was not there for you because he just wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, my stepdad was I found out when I was 16 and I met my real dad that he wasn't the dad.
But there was always, you're right, so there was always the thought of, if you're more like your mother, your father was emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
And as a minister, he probably was really emotionally unavailable, mainly because he had a lot to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he was bad or like this, but it does mean that he was emotionally unavailable to you. And how did this feel, and how did this influence you?
Well, my mother was strong, so she was always there. And when he was at home, my dad, he was there for us, so it was okay.
And what started you painting?
I always painted.
So tell me.
Yeah, well, I have my first painting, which my dad got framed.
Mm-hmm.
I was 3, and it was.
That's how old I am now. It's fabulous.
Yeah, well. And it was a woman. She was angry. She had a hat and a feather, and that was the name of the painting. And my mom still has it hanging on her wall. And I was 3, so I always painted for as long as I.
So when you began to paint as an adult, what was the feeling when you were painting?
Sort of relief, emotional relief.
This is what I want to hear about.
Yeah.
So what was going on emotionally for you to want to have this release?
All kinds of stuff. When you're young,
Tell me.
When you're young, frustrated, you got a lot of things going inside of you. You can't really scream on the street corner. And
Right.
so it's sort of, you paint it, so it goes in your painting. And it's still like that.
It is still like
Yeah.
that.
But the funny thing is, when I am really angry, really, really angry and frustrated, I make the most nicest painting ever.
You're frustrated a lot because you do great painting.
Thank you. Yeah, but still, when I'm at ease and nothing is bothering me, sometimes things don't work out the way I want them to. But when I'm angry and frustrated, it's bang, it's really there.
Would you say that when you're not frustrated and angry, the desire to paint is not as strong?
Yeah, it's not that strong. And if I do that, I paint over it because it's not good.
This is fascinating. So, would you say then, no, I don't want to ask that. I would rather ask, how do you feel when you're in the middle of the painting? When you begin to paint, where do you go? What do you feel? Where does it come from?
Well, that's a good question. I never asked me that question, where does it come from?
You waited all these years for me to come.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, you're influenced by everything you see and everybody you meet. So this is like a bundle inside of you that comes out in one way or another. And in my case, in a painting, I get really excited about. I can't find my way because I look at people, and there's a man in a hat standing on a corner. Of course, the man moves. I do not look at buildings or monuments or something,
Yeah.
so I have no sense of directions. But people's faces, I never forget. And I'm very curious about people. And I'm the person that sits at a cafe and I'm just staring at, how they move, how they act, what they're saying, interaction between people, and the energy behind them and the energy between people.
So you're seeing the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this.
So this is what I try to put into my work.
So when you're working and you're fully into that work, what is the feeling that you feel?
I dance.
Aha.
I
okay.
dance.
Tell me.
Loud music, Queen, Freddie Mercury, he's my hero. And we dance, me and Freddie, we dance. And we paint together into the night. So we've done a lot of paintings together.
Would you say that you're in another zone?
Yeah.
Can you explain what that zone feels like?
It's sort of vacuum. There's nothing else but me and the work.
Yes.
And Freddie, of course.
And where would you say that comes from? Is there a feeling of it coming from outside of yourself?
Probably, yeah. Probably. Because
yeah, go ahead.
you were talking about painting within the painting.
Yes.
Sometimes when I finish the painting, 2 weeks or maybe one day, and I look at it later and, oh yeah, and there's something I didn't realize that was in the painting. So it must have come, somewhere, I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Have you ever looked at it and seen it and wondered what it meant? Probably not.
No.
I never noticed this until a friend of mine had a husband who died, and they were very close. And it was a beautiful painting. But I began to see all this other piece. Mm-hmm. I began to see his sickness. I began to see all these feelings within it. So it does exist there. Would you say that painting is a means of releasing, if you're a person who, not everyone has the talent that you have, but everybody has the ability to paint. I mean, everybody can paint, not everybody's a Picasso. Would you use it as a form of release?
Yes, therapy.
Kids growing up, therapy.
Yeah.
There is art therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, art therapy exists.
Yeah. It is.
Yes.
It is. Especially, I feel it on myself. When
You do.
I'm angry and frustrated, go out and paint, and it's get it out there.
And how do you feel after?
Great.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Especially if the work works, the piece
Yes.
works,
It always works with
anger.
you.
Yeah, well.
I've never seen anger in your paintings.
No, it's
And I
really,
see you have a whole new set that you're doing now. And they're fabulous. And they're different. They're always, I see that you move from one phase to another phase. So there must be something that comes through now and something that comes through at another time. It must be different what comes through, yes?
Yes, it is. And then you mature and, have all the experience, and you put that in, and a lot of input from friends and people. And you sort of go to a phase, and you're here, and you're so wanting to go here because you always want to be better.
Yes.
If you don't want to be better, you just stop.
Yes.
Nothing happens. So you want to be better and better and better. And you're on the line and you so want to get up here because you've been on that line for such a long time. And all of a sudden, you're here. I don't know how, but all of a sudden, yes, something happened. And last time that happened for me was in May. I was working in my studio in Denmark, along with a good friend who is Asta.
Ah, yes.
Dear friend.
Yes.
She makes installations.
I have financed her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Winnie and my friend and I have financed her.
Yeah.
Her clothing is fantastic.
Yeah.
Her dyeing ability, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. And we were working together. She was making installation. We were planning on, we had an exhibition in my studio in Copenhagen for a long weekend. And we stayed there for 10 days, worked through the night, and something happened between us. She started making different stuff, and I started painting differently. You know, something, because we wanted to make this exhibition like a cooperation, or
Yes.
yeah, not me here and
Yes.
her here. So we wanted to sort of
Connected.
connect, yeah, and sort of float together. And we had a great experience, and that was the last time I was down here. Now I'm up here.
Yeah, this is
So
great.
I'm starting like a new road.
I feel that in your art.
That's good.
It's taking on an entirely different
Actually,
feel to it.
yeah, actually it's been inside of me for a long time. Going back to 78, when I was younger and more free and more bold. I was sort of getting a bit too tidy, too
Too neat.
yeah,
Too much like you knew it and you were just
yeah,
doing
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And I wanted to be like the rebel I was earlier. So I've been aiming at that.
I only met you as a rebel.
Okay, that's good. So
When-
I'm getting there.
When you made that change,
Yeah.
did you feel the flow was different when you were painting?
Yeah.
Were you, I don't want to say higher, but were you higher in that zone? Were you less aware of what was outside
I
and
was,
more?
yeah, totally into the work.
So you were going to another,
Yeah.
we could say, frequency of
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. So that was good. So I'm getting there slowly but gradually, getting to being a rebel, really a rebel like I was.
I understand. I'm speaking in English in Iceland. I totally understand. Let me ask you this. You just came back from the United States.
Mhm.
You had a fellowship there,
Yeah, Fulbright scholarship.
Fulbright fellowship.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That was,
Because you were teaching.
I was teaching
Mhm.
in a college. And I haven't taught for many years. But I thought, hey, I'm 60 and I don't use this opportunity. They actually got me, the college. They came to Iceland and
Great.
they spotted me and do you want to?
Flott.
And I said, yeah, why not? And, I'm not getting younger, so if not now, never.
It's not now when.
Yeah,
It's not me who.
yeah, right. So I did it, and it was a great experience. I really liked it.
How was it teaching?
I think it was more, it gave me more than the students, I think. Because I suddenly realized I was totally alone there, without
Mhm.
my family and my friends. Lived alone in a small house. And I found out that I was more capable of doing things that I didn't realize I could.
Yes.
But of course the student loved me. How could they not?
Why wouldn't the students not love you? Exactly. Why not?
So it was a lot of fun. And the last day, the day before I flew to Iceland, I had a studio at my small house. There was like a mother-in-law apartment. I changed into a studio.
Beautiful.
And I invited students over. Let's paint the whole day and into the night.
Now I want to paint.
Yeah. So we did that. And it was a lot of fun. So that's how I said, goodbye to my students. So.
Well, it's my understanding, if we go back in history, that the great artists were always with students, and the students would participate to some degree in the art and doing the art with the master.
Yeah.
How much of that did you experience?
Well, I started because the students were a bit afraid. You know, this is.
Yes.
There were 2 students that I tutored. Totally had 2 students who were going to go further into the art, to a university and studying, become an artist. And I started on a painting, and I said to them, "Here's a half-finished painting. You finish it."
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we worked on my painting and their painting. It was a cooperation. No,
Yeah.
Collaboration.
Collaboration.
Yeah. So it was theirs and mine. So it was pretty good. And
They
also
must have been thrilled and scared at the same time.
Yeah, but it's a good way to break the ice. You know, I'm not bigger than they are. I mean, just come in here and I said, I can always paint over that. I mean, you're not going to ruin anything. Just put in, you know, what you like, what you think is missing, and, you know, use your colors. And
So you could say this really to any Icelander in some sense, could you not? Whether they were an artist, a paint artist, whether they were a mother, no matter what they were, could you say then that express yourself, find some way to express yourself, find some way to release those kinds of emotions that you are feeling that are negative, and put them in some way positive?
I think everybody does it, if not in painting or dancing.
I don't think they do it, and that's the thing. I think some people do it. In this country, of course, it's more prevalent. You have fantastic respect for creativity of this nature.
Yeah.
And this is a big difference from any other country that I've ever been in. It's like, but I feel that Icelanders have a lot of talent, but they're a little bit reticent or afraid to move ahead with what they have.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. If you're an automobile mechanic, it doesn't matter if you're cleaning the streets. It doesn't really matter what you're doing, because you are not what you do. You're who you are. So, and there is a lot of intense feeling in this country. It's a hot country, I mean.
Yeah.
And you've come along, you've seen Iceland from the beginning. So how would you think that's different today?
I think people are maybe, because we're so few, everybody knows everybody. Almost.
It's a neighborhood, for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're not loud. We're not, here I am, and, you know, because all the other people might see that, and no, she's weird, or he's weird, or what's she doing, and why. And
Special.
Yeah. Who do she think she is, and stuff like that, because we're so few. I mean, that's, in the States, you get lost. Even in Copenhagen, you get lost.
No, that's the beauty of Iceland.
Yeah.
This is what I always say. It's so beautiful. You have every opportunity here.
Yeah.
You just have everything here. I mean, you know, I'm very jaded. I'm very turned toward Iceland for some reason.
Yeah.
And I realize, but still under. But you've been around for 60 years, and I've seen a change in the last 2 years. And certainly I've seen a change in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So what change have you seen?
I think we're more sort of open. I think if we're just talking about the arts.
Well, yes, we can talk about the art, but maybe we could expand on that.
Yeah.
That is, there must have been a time when people didn't lock their doors.
Yeah.
There
Out
must
in the
be-
country, they still don't.
Right,
Yeah.
in the country.
Yeah.
But in the city,
Yeah. Things are changing.
that's what I'd like to hear your opinion on.
Yeah. Well, crime is more, more crime, and people are not trusting like they used to do. We're getting bigger and, I don't know, more corrupt.
Perhaps. I always think there should be more Icelanders. I'm always happy when there's more babies. I'm always happy when there's more Icelandic babies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever noticed, but you know how little babies are, and their heads are moving this way and that, and their eyes are, moving everywhere. Not Icelandic children, no. They're straight, they're ready to go, and they're looking you directly in the eye. But I think that people are locking their doors perhaps more. I mean, there's a definite difference, I would think, from where you were at a certain age and where you are now.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why, but it's true. Yeah. It's just happens slowly.
This is the point. I mean, I think perhaps people are not looking as inward as they need to look, because in order to change what you want to change, you have to change you. And certainly you know that because you just said, now I wanted to go into a new period and I found myself expanding. I wanted to go back to what I was, back to the joy, back to the excitement, back to the wild abandonment, yes? Yeah, you're great. That's great. Do you meditate at all?
When I'm painting, yeah.
You do?
Yeah, not constantly.
No.
Yeah,
right.
But I do. I get lost, and somebody calls me, I can't hear it.
This is what I'm interested
totally
in.
Absorbed in what I'm doing. So I always play music. I hear the music, and then I'm...
Nina Simone, I always remember you saying to me,
yeah.
I put on my Nina Simone.
Yeah. Depends on what mood I'm in. Nina Simone, Maria Callas, I love her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then Freddie.
Wonderful.
So,
I want to thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
It's so my pleasure.
Thank you.
I hope
For having
everybody...
me. Thank you for having me.
Oh, really my pleasure. The thing is that, I've been enjoying being with you, and I've been enjoying being with you. And if you have any questions, or you have any opinions, I would like to hear them, and you can feel free to contact me at www.maxinegaudio.com, or you may see me on Facebook. You may. I don't always like to go there, but you definitely may see me on Facebook. So I say to you, thank you for joining me. I hope you will continue to join me, and Shams, be nice to Viku.